I mean,
exactly. I mean, and if you can offer a 2-for-1 program for them, it's an incentive for them to get out and work. If they have restitution to pay, that helps pay their restitution.
What's a 2-for-1 program?
Where they can work 1 day and get 2 days knocked off their sentence.
I got you. Hey, listen, we've got a hard break coming up in 1 minute.
Okay.
And so what we're going to do, and this is capitalism at work here, we got to take a break. And somebody's got to pay the station bills here, which gives you and I an opportunity to sit here and talk to the folks. So what we're going to do is take a break. And when we come back, folks, we're going to have Wes Ellison on again. He's going to kind of give us an overview of what's happening in the community. And then we're going to open the phone lines up to you. If you have any questions for Wes, by all means, feel free to give a call in here. All right? This is your call. My name is Mike Manchin, and we're going to take a break right now. All right, and we are back. Folks, we're back this morning with Wes Ellison, and he is running for sheriff up in Texas County. There are, I guess, a number of candidates running against you, Wes, right? I mean, or running on the Republican side of the fence.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, is this an August 6th vote for you?
August 7th, yeah.
August 7th, I'm sorry. Okay. So on August 7th, this is a primary run. And then whoever is now the existing sheriff up there, who's the existing sheriff in Texas?
It's Carl Watson.
Carl Watson, okay. And my understanding is he's not running again, right?
No, he's not. He's,
okay. Okay, so basically the slot is going to be wide open for whoever is going to run. And are there people running under a Democratic ticket, or are they all Republican tickets, or what's the story with that?
There is a current member of the sheriff's office that's running under a Democratic ticket.
Okay, all right. So there's actually quite a few people that are anxious to take this job over.
That's right.
I don't. Well, I don't know if you listen to the show or not, but I'm not real big on negatively hammering your opponents. So I'd rather hear what you're going to do rather than what they didn't or shouldn't or can't do, right? So if you don't mind, let's go back to what we were talking about before the break. And I'm sorry if those breaks kind of, jump in the way there.
No, and just to follow up on the inmate work program is, with 2-for-1, that's going to cut your jail costs because you're getting these guys out of jail sooner.
Sure. Now, are you one of the counties that charges people for the time that they're in or whatever?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think most of the counties out here do, but.
Okay. So, how big is your jail?
I believe it's got 70 beds. They just got a new facility. It's a $40 million facility.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That stings.
So.
Are you full?
That I don't know. Last I heard, the jail was full. So.
Gotcha. Well, most of them are these days.
Yeah, they stay that way. So
I know you're running for in a law enforcement position, and I know that you've been in law enforcement. I'm of the position that, frankly, we need to take a lot of this consensual law stuff and stop it. I'm not a big advocate of hammering people down for a lot of these infractions, which I call consensual law acts are really problematic in my opinion. And right. I know coming from law enforcement, you're obligated to follow what the law says, but I frankly think in this case and in a lot of cases the law is wrong. In other words, it shouldn't be against the law to do a lot of the things that we classify as criminal. Frankly, because it's none of the government's business what you do with your own time and your own, Now, I'm not talking about the guy who's making meth out in the woods and killing himself.
Right.
But, I'm of the opinion that, and I'm not one of these, normal people. I don't smoke pot. I don't do drugs. I rarely ever drink. But I personally believe that one of the best ways for government to operate is to leave people the hell alone. I mean, just get out of our house, get out of our kitchens, get out of our refrigerators, get out of our pants, get out of our bedrooms, get out of everything. I mean, it's not government's business what we do with our lives. And the government's in place to do one thing. We've given them the benefit of being society's enforcement arm, right? Which means that, if I suspect my neighbor stole my bicycle, I don't get a chance to go over there and just beat him to death for it, right? So, but at the same point in time, it has to be it has to be objective. In other words, if you're going to have police power, which is the only legal authority for force, then you have to use that righteously. And I see way too many instances, and I think I'm not alone in that, where law enforcement is in many cases out of control with a lot of things, and in addition to that, the government, both the state and the federal governments, are out of control. I don't like all this drug law nonsense. I think it's the war on drugs, as far as I'm concerned, and you probably have a different take on this because you're coming from Maricopa County, where you're in the middle of literally a true war. But in my opinion, we've spent $1 trillion on the war on drugs and have achieved absolutely nothing. The drug usage rates are just as high now as they were when we started this crap back in the 60s, and we've accomplished and achieved nothing. And at the same point in time, what we have done is we've given birth to these cartels that are making billions of dollars, and on the American, sucking that money out of the American economy, number one. And number two, they're killing literally tens of thousands of people. If drugs were not illegal, those people would, it would evaporate them almost overnight. Am I correct, or is that way off base?
Yeah, I think that it probably would.
If drugs weren't illegal, then there is no need for a cartel. It's kind of like Prohibition was, right? When Prohibition went away, so did most of the major, mobster kind of activity that was out there.
Yeah, I agree. It's but I think a lot of the purpose of the drug laws is to try and keep those people away from. Well, I'm not going to say it's the main purpose, but my goal would be to keep those people that are involved in drugs and everything away from innocent people who are not involved in drugs and don't want to be a part of their crimes, because there are several crimes involved in drugs. I don't want to fly by a guy on the highway that's just been smoking, meth and get hit head on or whatever. But it's no different with drinking, except that there's, I think drugs are more prevalent than people drinking. Drinking's more of a social thing a lot of times, and
and also nobody drinks for 3 days straight.
Right, and drugs become a necessity to people, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're addictive in a way that alcohol. Alcohol's addictive, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But, it doesn't keep you up for 3 days, rot your teeth out, cook your brain, and turn it into Jell-O.
Right.
But there are plenty of other drugs where, quite honestly, that, meth is almost the extreme of that, right? It's because, for whatever reason, it's so full of, I don't even know what, household chemicals and every other darn thing that, I don't know why people would even put that stuff into their body.
I don't either.
But what? We can see the results of that. You've seen these pictures and you're in law enforcement, so you've seen. We got a break coming up, by the way. We got one minute. You've seen these pictures where they take this young fella looks like he's an A student, honor roll kid, and a year and a half later he's got no teeth. He's got sores all over him. His hair looks like somebody hit it with an egg beater, and his brain is scrambled, and his eyes look like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
Or you get this beautiful young girl who a year and a half later she's got tattoos on her face, and she looks like somebody did it to her and ran. So you can clearly see the results of that. When we come back, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about what your experience is in Texas County with the methamphetamine problem, because I truly believe that is epidemic.